Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is alk.guidance and this is going to be a divine feminine reading for the whole collective, so we might channel more than one storyline. Take what resonates, of course. Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe. So I picked out some decks and shuffled them and set them aside, and then I took an extra deck because I was like, we need some animals. And I got 4 cards and I was like, that's a lot, but it makes sense because they come out in all 4 elements, you know, the air, earth, fire, and water. And overall energy is the dragonfly. And right underneath that is the eagle and the cosmic egg. So there's a lot of strong intuition surrounding your energy. And we're just gonna take these as like elemental guides. So if you are prominently air sign, you got the vulture card, which is kind of like your higher awareness and your crown chakra are very enlightened. I'm feeling a lot of tingling, so you could feel that as well, or your you could just have these body energetic fluctuations where you just either feel like you are either warming up in your blood or your blood freezes when you encounter certain people, and you just like have this void and crown, so like void black and very magenta purple aura around you, just like this vulture, but it's you being in the energy of clearing out your mind, your mental space, which is the most important for the air signs, right? It's where most of your power comes from. And then the next 2 cards are also air, so air placements are going to be, you know, quite intuitive in this point in time, because you are drawing certain lines, right? You're drawing the lines in the sand, in the dirt, setting up boundaries. When it comes to earth signs, you have the fox energy. So I'm getting this very nurturing, maternal, warm, golden energy off of you. Not cunning at all. Like you don't have any negative fox traits. Even though you might have had to be like that in the past to preserve your energy and your golden aura, especially your confidence and your assertiveness, you had to stay quite calm, because I'm getting overwhelmed with this very calming feeling, like you just know who you are and nobody can take away the shimmer, because I'm being pointed to these little dots and the gold around the fox. So it's like your aura is very enlightened and very confident, and also because it's very balanced, it comes from such a nurturing place. Like if you have children, or if you're teaching children or guiding people in general, you are a very steadfast energy. Like you're very reliable when it comes to, you know, people relying on you to guide them, because even though you are an earth sign prominent divine feminine, you have this, I don't know if it's like a fire sign energy, it's just this golden Leo energy, solar plexus. Like you could also be enjoying the sun a lot, and it gives you a lot of strength and power. So for my fire sign feminines, we have the zebra for my Australians. And she has a triangle right on her forehead, which is representative of the third eye, and it's kind of aligning in my channeling right now, where one, like your intuition, your third eye is open, and you having that full trust in your stripes that you have earned. Your ears are perked up, like you're highly aware in all of your senses. as well when it comes to drawing the boundaries. You're the same as my air signs, and your intuition just kind of boosts your fire elementals within your chart. So it's about passion, it's about creativity, it's about the sacral chakra, pretty much, that orangey and reds I'm seeing, and yellows, as well as like your whole spine, your spiritual spine, your energetic spine is just aligning. But most of the alignment comes from you trusting and listening to your intuition and following it as well. And then last but not least, we have the water sign divine feminines. This is a very lucky time for you, especially if there's an emotional cycle that's closing out. You are ready to not be, you know, swimming with the stream, rather you're going upstream your emotions. And sometimes we have to go through light and darkness to kind of balance these emotions out, but you are in a very lucky time when it comes to just like throwing yourself out of a certain emotional cycle and into new waters. Even though you cannot see where you're going, you're just like, fuck this, I'm just gonna jump away to a different timeline or my new emotional cycle. So feminines, let's get right in. We have some crystal deities just helping us in support. So we have the Herkimer diamond. I'm gonna place it on the dragonfly so it boosts the expression of intuition for all of us. And I'm gonna get into my deck. For the divine masculines, I just pre-opened and spread out certain decks, and I had a whole picture here, but I feel like we need to flow a bit more differently with the divine feminines. So let's see what's wanting to show. Ooh, we have Janarloka. That's the realm of divine beings and wisdom keepers. Chakra is representative by the throat chakra. It's about the energy of the diamond blue flame, or lattices, however you would like to protect yourself. You can envision just, you know, blue diamond encrusted shields, or, you know, frameworks or lattices, or just aura surrounding you, you know. It's always good to envision a very rich color surrounding you, or very bright white lights within you and stuff like that. So imagining your auric field as if it's made from blue diamonds will definitely help you to bring your throat into the proper way of expressing itself. So you can imagine it blue, but you can imagine it in a jewel tone color, and it will kind of protect you even more. So here in Janarloka, we're talking about sacred speech, soul command, and divine language. But when it comes to the negative effects, or let's say the entities that are trying to test us within this realm, we are talking about voice suppression, misuse of power, or even distortion of truth. And the task at hand is to speak only what liberates and blesses. So the affirmation for this realm, which is a beyond realm, number 5. So imagine your chakra system of 7 and then just moving it up. That's Janarloka. That's the throat chakra in the beyond chakra system. It's hard to imagine, but it's a much higher frequency than this 3D or less energetic systems. So we're elevating ourselves into more diamond encrusted forms when it comes to auric shields and just the energy that we are carrying. So the affirmation for this realm of divine beings and wisdom keepers is, I speak the vow of my soul. So whatever your soul vowed to come here and do, you are now speaking it. You may be slowing down in your speech. You may be a bit more careful because of the boundaries that you had to set, and so on and so on. So with these next actions that I will mention, I didn't even notice, I made this card, which is pretty much my doggy's, you know, registry number when you, so this is like her microchip, and it's on the bottom of the deck. So Aisha is here with us. So you could too, Divine Feminines, have your pets or loved ones in realms untouchable, but Aisha came here to remind us all that we all have these support systems that are of much higher love than what we are experiencing here on Earth. So don't forget to, you know, either light a candle for your ancestors or make an altar or something like that, where their energy is kind of still in your space with you. So yeah, let's go. With these next actions, you will transmute silence, distortion, and people fear. So if you are dealing with any of what I just mentioned, especially distortion when it comes to expression, or fearing people, like fearing connecting to people, fearing talking to people, or just expressing yourself from any point, like from any emotion, right? These are the activities that will help you elevate your throat chakra from blue to diamond blue, right? So when you will speak, you will be able to speak clearly, speak, you know, coherently, and the emotion will have been transmuted at that point, right? Because this is what we all have to learn. We have all these systems of energetic, you know, fields, and they get misaligned through karmic cycles, and we get so derailed from our true expression, not just in the throat chakra, but in all of our systems, that we dim our lights and we dim our colors. However, that's why it's so important to visualize and sing and speak from your true emotions, right? Even if it's transmuting harsh anxiety and speaking through tears, it's still transmuting the energy, because you got it out in the worst possible moment and you were able to, you know, get it out, and it's a bit easier on your brain and your body and your heart, you know, your systems, when you lay to rest, when you lay to regenerate. Because being pointed to health and mana bars, my theory is that we all have, kind of like in video games where we have health bars, and now with the new timelines and more information coming out, we are being able to unlock the ability power reserve. And that's why our old selves really want to keep us stuck in old timelines, doing the things that we're used to resorting to when we feel certain emotions, right? However, the more you trust and follow your heart, right, which is, I don't know if I should do this, and it's like, well, you consider doing it, and not doing it will not give you the experience that you're looking for to learn or to get, you know, kind of like your health back, which is pretty much, in a way, you recuperating from your old timeline and creating a new you, right? The new you is somebody that is more expressive, sings more openly in front of people, or just is able to step by step get through fears and the emotions that we are suppressing within our bodies, which, you know, that in return carries the trauma so much further. So the activities you can do to enhance your throat chakra and make it go beyond is chanting mantras or soul songs. So anything that is you being emotional next to a frequency of music is either some sort of past life remembrance or this life karma where there's an emotion attached to it. And so what I like to do when it comes to songs that remind me of, like, I love the song, but it's connected to somebody, or it's connected to an emotion or a harsher time in my life, I like to sing it so many times until I'm not crying over it, like until it brings me to that emotion, because I cried through it so many times that I processed the emotion by letting it all flow out as much as it needed, as well as reclaim the power over the frequency of the love that the song carries, right? The hertz frequencies. So singing anything that aligns you or disarms you, on the other hand, is going to be very healing. And especially certain mantras, or doesn't matter what you like to listen to. I like to listen to all religions and their types of mantras. And as you traverse through different styles of soul songs, or something that helps you remember who you are on a soul level, you might find that in religions outside of yours, or the one that you were raised around in, or, you know, raised up in, could be very healing to certain parts of your body, like listening to Muslim or Hindu or you know, Arabic in general, or African music. It can remind your celestial DNA of a timeline you have lived, and those are some past life suppressed emotions that are also, you know, connected to either your base chakra and the fear, or, you know, it could be so many different things. And yeah, you'll find your way for sure. Just find the songs that help you express the emotions that are a bit still in the suppressed states of your body, or are still, you know, kind of stuck within your vessel, or there could be an emotional, psychological cycle that you're trying to break free from. Just frequency healing music on the right hertz will definitely help you to create the peace within. And I found out that, like, certain Quran verses, even though I don't understand them, they just bring me towards so much peace. And then I put on a Hindu mantra and it brings me to love. And sometimes we have to traverse into different higher frequency sound healings, as well as, you know, discover some new old past life, but for this life new soul codes, right? It's like we are remembering on so many different levels, and the more you follow your intuition of what is right for you and stop including everybody around you into your decisions, you're definitely going to always end up in the right places in the right times. Because even though you might feel like you've done enough healing, there's always more learning to do, and as well as the amount of suppression we are used to, it got kind of masochistic, because as divine feminines, we care so deeply about the wrong people for such a long time that we forget about ourselves, and our intuition is getting blocked, and we have to keep, you know, learning from these cycles of these vampires, energetic vampires being attached to our energy and so on, and it cycles until we're like boundaries, right? Especially for my well, pretty much all of you guys, but especially for my air signs and fire signs, it's quite significant that you follow your intuition even more, because it will help protect you from a cycle that you've already learned so much about. So I'm getting like waste of time energy here. And what this one card is particularly trying to say here is, you need to, if you haven't already, but I feel like most of you have, if you haven't already, it's about you know, when people get married and then they renew their vows. So you have to renew the vow you have within your soul. And that's what's happening. That's why you might feel a sore throat or just these ascension symptoms. I'm being guided to tell you to rest more and do take the nap. When your body is calling for something, it kind of, you know, needs it at that time. Otherwise, we are able to suppress out of survival. And you writing down your soul vow, speaking it aloud and clear, will definitely help send the correct energy into the ether. So we have dealt with other people for so long that it was really hard for us to get back into helping ourselves, to balance ourselves, to keep ourselves unreactive yet responsive towards situations, especially, you know, with the path of balancing out divine masculinity within as well. So you might want to work with blue kyanite or aquamarine. I don't have it on hand, but I do have a blue water bottle with an aquamarine inside, and it has helped me a lot to keep my water in the turquoise frequency, which is the place or the space between your heart chakra and your throat chakra. So kind of like right here between your collarbones. And when this place is warm or in pain or anything like that, it's really about your unconditional expression, your soul voice being able to, you know, come out correct. And you might have these symptoms as well, where you might get a raspier voice, or it's just like there's a turquoise mid chakra awakening happening. So how I like to imagine chakras is they kind of funnel into another, and they're interconnected, right? They have to have a flow that is in unison from, you know, crown to base, base to crown. There has to be a flow of feminine and masculine, giving and receiving. And we have given so much, my divine feminines, that this is the time where we need to rest more. We need to take time to recuperate energy and do the rituals where we nurture our bodies, where we, you know, go and actually get the fresh air and cleanse our spaces to get to the full power, right? Because water and earth, they are feminine elements. And to get into the energy of being, you know, golden aura'd, and as well as being able to jump timelines with the fish, it's like crocodile spirit might be important for some of you guys, or alligator spirit. Yeah, there's a lot unlocking at the same time, and it's slightly overwhelming for our physical vessels, because it's such a, it's like detached, it's like God, the source is detaching us from anything that keeps us stuck. It's super painful. It's super painful to express your true emotions, and speaking it out loud, especially to certain specific people that have helped with blocking this space. It takes a lot. So that's why it's important to write down what you vow to, which can just look like, I vow to from now on be surrounded by kind and generous people that are, you know, like me, in a sense of curiosity, or, you know, keeping it quite specific yet simple. In because when we manifest, when we're going through these huge chakra awakenings and, you know, reforming these energetic spaces and reimagining it, we are actually I'm getting such a sore throat, but I'm not like, I don't have a sore throat. Blue kyanite, aquamarine, or any other blue stone that you may vibrate to, like lapis lazuli or azurite, larimar, blue chalcedony, blue agates, of course. It's gonna differ for each and every one of you, but just looking at an image of a blue sapphire, or keeping it as a you know, phone screen wallpaper, will help you. It will help you the same as if having a physical crystal, because you can look at it, you can still get the energies out of it, and it can still help you even though you're not physically holding it. You might be going through like mineral shops and being just guided to tell you to have a lot of discernment of, you know, fake colorings and overpricing, but it might be helpful for you to, you know, go look at them and see what you might be attracted to, even if you don't buy anything. It's a whole oracle of what's going on currently, or what you need help with energetically. It doesn't have to be a blue stone necessarily, but when it comes to your throat chakra, going from blue to diamond blue in this next season, you might need some help with blue stones. And the last but not least activity you can do is, of course, always speaking your divine truth, even when trembling, which I have mentioned before. It's that space of, I'm anxious, this stresses me out, this is just, oh, my blood is freezing. If you're able to express your divine truth in that moment in time, whatever happens afterwards is exactly as it should be, because it's better. The outcome of that is always better for you, because we divine feminines sometimes forget about ourselves, and that sometimes means like 98% of time, especially when we're dealing with divine masculine energy, because we are in search of a heart safety feeling. And sometimes we have to go through just different people, so we learn to say no to such people. And in hindsight, you know, for the future, we can look at what these people have taught us to recognize when it comes to entity attachments ego not being processed, insecurities from their moms and dads, and etc., right? Us following our intuition is like the superpower that divine masculines unlock a bit further on in life. And I'm being guided to tell you that patience is not always the key, because when you think you're practicing patience, you're actually practicing not letting go. Because being truly patient is being able to surrender, to let go, to do your own thing without them in mind, without waiting for them energetically in some part of you. So I picked some decks. We might not use all of them. I'm just gonna watch the time, because the Divine Masculines reading is like an almost 2-hour reading. But whenever we stop, even if it's a 3-hour reading. So bear with me. We have Sekhmet. She comes out with courage, truth, and shadow work. So we are sitting on the beast, right? We're getting Beauty and the Beast, we're getting Leo energy, we're getting that solar strength, we're getting that courage, right? Ooh, this deck, if you know this deck, you know, but this deck, of course, Divine Feminines, this is all different yous watching this, as well as all the different interconnected parts within you. So Sekhmet comes out with courage, truth, shadow work, and then Diana comes out with be one with nature. But she's also all about the focus. Her aim is very focused. And then we have Selene, which is this lunar energy. She says, bring light into somebody's dark sky. So my Divine Feminines, these dogs, somebody let the dogs out, okay? Who let the dogs out? Cast a circle. Healthy boundaries are crucial for growth. What we said, right? So, Witch's Hat, express yourself, share your gifts with the world. You are probably, and curiosity, what sparks your interest? Very important cards. You are all my witches, my light workers, my chosen ones, however you like to call yourselves, my earth angels, my Christ consciousness people, you know, the people watching this coming with good intention from the heart. This is us. And expressing ourselves is sharing gifts with the world. And each and every one of you has a specific gift that is pretty much, it comes out of your nurturing fox side. It's you being able to go through so many gates and portals and do a bunch of quantum leaping, because you are so intuitive and so smart that everybody around you, when it comes to spirit guides, is like, how do you not understand in your soul that you are like the greatest of all time? My Divine Feminines, you have been going through a lot of downfalls, doubting yourselves, feeling shame, feeling guilt, trying to let go, trying to move on, falling for these feelings again, being hurt again. It's just a bunch of cycles, and that's why your auras are kind of vibrating at this point, because, well, it's not just that you put on a thinking cap, you put on the witch's hat as well. And the more you return to those rituals that feel positive for your soul, like whatever fills you up, either being near water, either doing mushroom hunting, or, you know, swimming naked, or having a warm bath with some frequency music and some oils and some Himalayan salt and rose petals, or buying yourself a bouquet of flowers, just nurturing that emotional part of, I'm not expecting anybody to pour into me, because I'm learning on this curve that self-love is the most powerful type of love, which then magnetizes and attracts everything and everyone that I actually need, right? So the more we doubt, the more we feel this shame, the more we attract people that are going to make us feel ashamed for something, just because it's kind of like a God's reminder of, my poor baby, haven't you learned a thing? You know, but you are already on the other side, because listening to your energy intuitively, it's like you have gone through these energies, and those were your last cycles, because you have ascended and elevated and quantum leaped so many times in the last year that you had to balance all these different divine feminines within you, which are Sekhmet, Diana, Selene, right? It's, you had to regain your confidence, your courage, you had to regain your connection to the nature, and you had to regain you in every new emotional cycle. And through every new emotional cycle, you were able to help other people. No matter how hard it was for you, no matter how dark your sky was, you were always there to dance with the possibilities. And you're also the one that protects other people, and you're also a strong truth protector. So whatever your truth is, it's now like growing claws and teeth and wings and scales and armor and auras, and you casting a circle, which could also be just sharing the gifts that you have with yourself and doing some sort of self-healing. That's what's happening in this season for you. But healthy boundaries are crucial. Let's check some emotions. What are my divine feminines feeling at this point in time? What are the emotions that we're handling? Freedom. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. And that's the mandala, which is a lot about the heart. It's also turquoise in color and blue. So shadow work had to be done on your truth center, which is your voice box. You had to forgive yourself for so many things, for maybe not being courageous in the past, but now you have all the tools, now you have all the powers, you have tamed the beast within. You have, swear to God, if I see another chemtrail, I'm gonna start shooting something I don't own. We have failure. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. So whatever you have spiraled into, you can spiral out. And I was being pointed in my vision of a video I've seen on Threads of a bee untangling her stinger. If you don't panic, if a human doesn't panic, and the bees don't want to be unalived, they have this one chance to protect the colony or whatever, but they self-sacrifice too often. And when we are stinging, or our emotions are triggering these people around us and they panic, what happens is we self-sacrifice in that moment, because that's not the safe space that we were actually looking for. We weren't ready for that expression of emotion coming from them when it comes to panic, flight, or that's when people get stung. However, that bee was putting in a lot of work. She did so many circles to kind of untwine, and it one comment said it's as if you can hear her saying lefty loosey righty tighty and just panicking, you know, because like, I'm not gonna die, I'm not gonna die. And the bee is you, divine feminine, right? You have this ocean energy, this honeycomb protection. Like, I'm seeing your shields would have a good upgrade when you create them visually as golden honeycomb spheres, with every honeycomb facet being diamond blue. So you might want to meditate in that energy to let go of that fear of failure, which in hindsight helps you with courage, right? But also protects you when it comes to doing the work that you need to do. And you may have failed only when it comes to this Diana card, which says connecting with nature. And the feeling that I'm getting is us divine feminines, we have failed to stay connected to nature, and that's what we kind of miss the most, right? Being those water and river and ocean nymphs and sirens, and just, you know, being immersed in the freedom of the elementals. And underneath we have grief. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. So whatever we're leaving behind, we are actually appreciating the cycle closing, because we are kind of ready to bring the light into somebody else's sky, and that's okay. You don't have to feel guilt behind it. Okay, 2 cards came out, and that's perfect because that's all we need. Underneath we have regret. I know that I cannot change the past. We know, divine feminines, we cannot change the past. And with the vulture, we're still cloaked in the darkness somehow, right? Just a little bit more cleansing and more protection is needed to fully be able to start a new emotional cycle. This is mirrored for you, but it's actually a waxing moon. It's a new moon. And for Celine, we got indecision. I use my intuition in all aspects of life. So no matter your emotion of indecision, whatever it is that you are, it's hard for you to be courageous or take the step because you're like, you know, 2 of Pentacles, negative Libra energy. The indecision is actually, when we come towards an emotion of indecision, we're usually weighing 2 options. It's either a yes or no. It's either a this one or that one, right? And what's best is to step away from both so you can hear your intuition, which is also part of the smoke that we are kind of letting go in this next season, because we're collectively stuck in a cycle of, it's just this energy of, oh my god, I just want a divine masculine, or I just want this to happen. I just, you know, it's this needy, greedy energy. And we had to be humbled a bit too much, especially for some of us. We were not just humbled, we were violated when people tried to humble us. And whenever you feel an indecision, you know, sometimes they say if you're with one person and you're wanting another, it's like you already have overstepped the boundary of putting the first person in an indecision moment. And that's something that, you know, breaks people in the end. What should have happened, especially in my case, is I should have just let go of both, right? Surrender them to God and not get fixated on any situation. Because when we are know-it-alls and think I know-it-alls, we usually get pushed into these new, it's like in video games when you have like a quest and you have a multi-choice. And that's what happens when we have the energy of indecision. Just imagine there's, you know, an NPC speaking to you and you have like ways to create your character. Like if you say this, you're gonna come off as a friendly person. If you say this, you're gonna come off as, you know, angry person. And if you say this, you might fight, right? And when it comes to indecision and decision, it's being able to either take the necessary time to respond rather than react, or nurturing yourself so much that you don't have to even pause when a decision is in front of you. And if you have to pause, it's because you may be afraid of the level of, I may not be healed. Yes, I'm not healed. I may look like I may be healed, but the way I process trauma is off camera, on camera, in different situations in life. But I'm very fiery and very airy and very Aries, that the courage comes easy to me, right? Because my Mars, my ruling planet for Aries, is in Leo, and also my ascendant is in Leo. And I have a good predisposition of balls to the wind, right? Whereas you might have a completely different energetic approach. So listening to your inner elementals will definitely help guide you towards what balances out when it comes to elemental energy within, so you can express, so you can clear your mind, so you can follow your passions, so you can create the things that you want to create. Because you can decide to not be indecisive. You can decide today and be like, well, if I had to ponder a decision, I guess it's a no. And you decide on a no. And if, on the other hand, you decide yes, then it's a yes. Then from today on, you are trying to be a yes divine feminine, which is, you know, getting over your own limits will help you elevate, or help you decide how you want to live your life, right? So if it's about meeting new people and you haven't met anybody, imagine them. This might sound harsh for some of you guys, but it is like that at the end of the day. But we need these stepping stones, right? We need to learn things about ourselves through meeting with other people, with communicating, and finding people that it's easy to communicate to, where our heart spaces feel safe. And even if you are a male watching this reading for some reason, goes the same way for all of us. Coming back to the heart space is one of the hardest things, because it's a space that holds a lot of grief, a lot of regret, a lot of shame, a lot of all the wrong things, especially fear and indecision. And clearing this space out will help you be more decisive, be more courageous. Because no matter who or what hurts you, no matter how many nights you spent crying and raging and just, you know, doing whatever helped you to let these things out, you were still dancing with the stars. You were still able to drop all of your burdens and come across a person of help and just be selfless. And that's why divine feminines are so important in energy. Where is the card? Did we lose a card? Let me find it. All right. We have surrender. And it was underneath the pillow. It was hiding. I can release my need to control. And maybe that feeling is hiding still within you. Or there may be some experiences that you have to, you know, lift a rock and look underneath for a change to get towards the energy of surrender, which is pretty much, you know, with healthy boundaries, I'm getting certain circles are falling apart, which is very important that you do not regret this next season shifting so vividly from cutting off everyone you know, going within and stepping outside when you're ready, when you're balanced, when you're processed. It had to, or will have to, come from this space of surrendering in trust to the universe, to source. Because the healthy boundary that is crucial for your growth is actually you understanding that you can release your need to control. We have the fire element with desire, first house with the body, which is Aries house. We have Grand Cross with provoker and solar eclipse with revolution. And then the sun spirit. So yeah, a lot of Leo energy, a lot of Aries and fire energy. But we have the sun, and then we have a solar eclipse, which is your spirit is going through a revolution, especially when it comes to balancing out, like if it's toning down or upping your masculinity. It's all about provoking yourself to come back within your body, your mind, and your soul. That's your spirit aligning here. Now we're going to do it a bit faster. We have flow. Okay, this one. New beginnings. Action. Yeah. Because action comes on indecision, right? And a lot of action has to be provoked within. So there's certain alignments, certain aspects, and certain key points that will propel you into action, out of indecision and leadership. So because you are creating these healthy boundaries, you're doing your, beautiful self-healing spells and working on returning back into your heart with the new beginnings and the flow, you're actually becoming the leader. And we have the light on the bottom. The light. Yeah, because it's all about the inner peace and fulfillment. We're all striving for that, right? We're going from feeling like we are, karmic or toxic feminines, or like we're still processing certain divine feminine emotions. But no, guys, you are already in the Empress energy. Even though you may feel orphaned, there's always people that are going to help you as much as you help other people, because you are here to help other people not feel so alone in this world. And we got the not for you when it comes to surrender. When it comes to you deciding about, should I go for this coffee or should I go for this walk in the park or a hike, whatever, like, I'm getting you could have been very hermited for a long time, and now you're being kind of poked out by the universe, like, get out of your room, you need some fresh air. And your fresh air is a bit different than your surroundings. You could feel stuck where you live, or you could feel just, I don't know, your friends are elsewhere. Like the person that you would want to go for a coffee and that is kind of aligned with your purpose is almost unreachable because you live far apart or something. And on the bottom of the deck, I didn't even see, we have yang, which is masculine energy, which is beautifully closing out this line of, you have gone from being toxic yourself to a certain degree. I'm sorry for the harsh words, but it's just the image that I'm getting, because we've all went there, right? With certain people. We're not all like, oh my God, love and light our whole lives. We had to go through a bunch of shit and get out of it. And what happened with you, Divine Feminines, as well, is we had to be toxic feminines because we had unbalanced masculine energy, and it was overpowering the actual divine feminine energy. And we had to like tinker with that and be like, I need to chill. I need to, like, you know, stop being avoidant even, or different things like that, right? And you went through being left behind or without help, or just within these games of what if or chess games, like people have just played too much, and you do not regret anything that has happened in your past, because your awareness, your intuition is so potent and strong that nothing else can come from this besides your action, your leadership, your full surrender, freedom, desire back into your body, and also you being grounded as well as elevated through dimensions. But we do need to balance, you know, the energies of, sometimes I float off in my head and I need to touch some grass, and that's okay. Let's check out some love angels, because I know you guys love love. We have attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. Worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life, and it comes underneath orphaned, which tells me that your angels are trying to help you see that you were never abandoned by them. You were abandoned by people that needed to let you go in the most toxic ways, so you don't return to them. Engagement with the leg up. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment, and this baby polar bear is also ascending to this big bear. It's a mama bear or a papa bear. And just like that, and also in the leadership card we have a polar bear. The people, the masculines that aren't for you, will always keep you in the energy of indecision. Two of Pentacles, again in my head. So, because you're pouring back into yourself, you're attractive each and every day more and more, you're aging in reverse, you're so beautiful, my divine feminines. You are attracting love by smelling the roses, by touching grass, by reconnecting with nature, as well as your inner divine feminine nature, your desires. What does the divine feminine truly desire? And I'm not speaking about like sexual desires. I'm like thinking more, what fills up your heart? What gives you the most freedom? If you could imagine the life that you want to live, what would it look like? Put it in the comments. And on the bottom we have release your ex. So you have to release what's not for you, especially if people made you feel like you're wearing a clown mask. You're actually here to lead a whole generation from your own gifts. And the people that are not for you, the people that have played games with you, they have to fall away, but you have to take that chance. Because what's coming in divine timing for you, divine feminines, is a higher level commitment. The people in your past haven't been committed at all in energy, that's how I feel, but you going through these stages of surrender and letting yourself or letting a certain situation fail, for the lack of a better term, to see true colors, to see true energy, to feel, to come back into your body. Because if it was a full yes, the energy of indecision wouldn't be near. And oh my god, the last card, not the least, is new love. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings, and there's this knight kneeling in front of you with a red rose. So you're kind of like, I did not expect this, but I kind of expected this because I really worked on myself. Like, I'm really proud of myself, and with these boundaries, you're able to even have a decision to make, right? Because it's on you, divine feminines, because when you are healed, you're the decision maker. And on the bottom we have flirt. Extend your light-hearted energy to others. Sometimes you know, that physical touch and just, you know, enjoying the scent of a person and filling up these senses, or letting yourself be touched, could be quite triggering for a lot of us. And it's okay, my divine feminines, if you don't feel ready. It's just that when it comes to divine feminine energy, to truly come into the divine feminine energy, we do need to communicate clearly until they understand, especially when we're dealing with men. Men, their brains, well, no offense, my men watching this, but men are very simple creatures. You need to tell them directly. Or even sometimes, if they're more on like the stupid side, you're gonna need some crayons, which is a waste of your energy, really. Believe and succeed with the Six of Swords. You need to believe that you can attract love into your love life, and you will. We have flow with the Wheel of Fortune, which is, again, surrendering to the flow of your emotions. No matter how harsh your emotions may seem at this point in time, surrendering to your sadness, to your anger, will actually help you clear out the emotion. And it will also help you discover emotions that run even deeper than sadness. You know, you might feel sad, you cry it out, then it gets kind of to this grief, and it's intense. You get angry, and you know, there's stages when it comes to clearing out energies. Healing begins. Six of Wands, I'm sorry. 6 of Wands and 6 of Swords. So again, fire and air is very important, because that's the underlying energy. It's masculine, which is you in part, right? We all have to have both and balanced. Oof, heal. So believe and succeed, flow, and healing begins. And the card that turned over is it's the devil, but it's in this deck, it's the Master, which is you keeping your heart in a cage is not helping you reach your well-deserved rewards, as well as your creativity and joy when it comes to your sacral chakra, because you may feel like you're helpless and hopeless in awaiting these results. But with you asking for help, with you provoking your own indecision, you're able to start not just healing yourself, but also ascending yourself to a higher emotional level, because the Six of Swords is healing that mental / emotional inner turmoil, going off into the calmer waters. But here, it's as if you took a fucking kayak and went into the open seas. But in the open seas, there's light. There's so much light. You're going towards the sun. Some of you could be moving west. Others of you, there might be opportunities waiting west of you, or just that may be a part of the sky that you need to pray to start believing in yourself, especially if you're dealing with these thoughts and emotions of not being good enough, feeling like you don't fit in, or you're not knowledgeable enough to do the things that you love doing, because there's still some learning curves for you to do to be able to give some advice or whatever it may be. It's like you have to truly turn into your internal flow of the earth and the water elementals to heal, because the heal card is actually the star card, which is Aquarius. And the wheel is turning, right? The wheel is turning. We have Sige with quiet time. Take some quiet time alone to rest, meditate, and contemplate. So quiet time. I will have to have some quiet time because my throat is like on fire, guys. Vesta, home. Your household situation is improving, either through a move or a healthy change in the occupants. It's also because you are moving, you are flowing, you are creating your home into an actual home. You could be buying decorations or lights or candles or just, I don't know, incense or whatever, just something that makes it more homey. And Lakshmi, of course, wanted to come up. She was like, I'm not going back into the deck. I need to be seen. We have Sulis with bodies of water. Spend time near water, such as a lake, river, or the ocean to recharge your batteries. We were channeling that, remember? And of course, Lakshmana comes out. Lakshmi with bright future. Stop worrying. Everything is going to be fine. You're going to be so prosperous and abundant as soon as you figure out and heal from these games. Heal. We have Kali on the bottom with endings and beginnings. The old must be released that the new can enter. And I'm being pointed to you keeping your heart in a cage. It has to be released. It has to open up at some point, right? And when we're talking about opening the heart, let's see, we have some more love angels I want to show. Rest and relaxation is essential. We all have a fundamental need to take breaks. And this is where we collectively take a break. And it comes right above Sige, which is you needing that extra nap, you needing that extra body of water, that extra candle, or that extra, you know, gardening. However you like to get back into your elementals, it's the way to go. Just follow your intuition. Trust yourself in this timeline the most. Have no regrets. You're figuring yourself out and you're extending your light-hearted energy first to yourself before you can to others. And this is just like a side message, but some of us are still healing a lot. And it's okay to be bitchy about it sometimes if they don't understand, or not go somewhere if you don't feel like putting yourself into a stressful situation. It's okay to rather take a nap. It's okay, because you have to love who you are. You are a divine and wonderful person, deserving all of the wonderful things that life has to offer. Again, you're like the leader of the boat. You are here to succeed in your own flow. And we have the heart of the matter. Poppies are quite significant for some of you guys. Or if you see, next time you see a poppy flower, it's a confirmation that you are at the right place at the right time. Infinitely. There is more going on than meets the eye. Recognize what this is all about. So I'm intrigued, but if you feel like there is more than meets the eye, having coming into your flow, especially with bathing, being near water, being on the water, on like a boat, or just water, moving water, is very important to help you understand the heart of the matter. So whatever you are being indecisive about, or you fear failure, or have a hard time surrendering, water will help you cleanse out your headspace, because 1111, this is a new beginning for you. Look to your inner strength. You're stronger than you realize. You have the power of self-healing. Look at your pattern in relationships. It requires inner strength to recognize that you need to change or modify your behavior. So this is just spirit showing you how to flow, how to come back into your true expression, and the things that you may need to look in the mirror about, right? So we're just gonna finish this reading with some cleansing. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share. Save it in your tarot folders or create one if it resonated. We're just going to sage you a bit, my divine feminines. We need a lot of smoke. You might be super excited to start a new path, a new venture, a new project. And there's a lot of very stable energy that is surrounding you. It's like your spirit guides are happy that you are where you are today. Your throats are clearing because I just got this need to let the demon out, and I got like a cramp in my left side of my neck, which is pointing me to the feminine expression. It needs to be it needs to start coming from that true divine feminine space, not from that divine masculine space. So balancing out your emotions will help you get into your true divine femininity, because we are sometimes overwhelmed by surviving and just this energy of I'm my own protector, I have to, you know, protect my energy, I have to do all these things that puts us in a very masculine energy. So, you know, smoke baths are also good, but water is going to be the most effective when it comes to balancing out the divine feminine. That's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for being here with me. I love you so, so much, all of you watching this with good intentions. I'm sending you extra protection today, and may your soul be expressed truthfully. Bye!